one of the amazing things about the Widow Match program, and let me just tell you, we were not sure this was going to work because my Widow Match is here today. I know some of you have seen her, one of our board members, Michelle Dipple, and when we met, we had a distant family relation, and we talked to each other via email for months before we even talked on the phone, and then it was about 9 months before we saw each other in person. And I said to her, we didn't really know each other. Do you think that other people could do this? And she said, they might not like it. And I said, you're right, they might not. And she said, or they might. And I said, well, it can't hurt to try. Why not? Let's give it a shot. And to know that from that moment, just the opportunity to give something small back to another person is what made it so successful. Because, when I was able to help her just a little, I recognized a portion of myself that I thought was dead. I thought when I fell to the bottom of the canyon and crashed down that I lost my ability to be who I am. And I did temporarily, to be quite honest. And maybe some of you have been there or are there. I didn't know who I was. If you'd asked me, I probably would have been mad at you for asking such a ridiculous question. How was I supposed to answer that? Everything in my world changed. Everything was completely different. I didn't recognize my world, let alone myself. And so when I started to meet another widowed person, and Michelle and I were able to say, how are you today? And mean it, and not be afraid of the answer. And then I could say, but how are you? All of a sudden, just that little tiny moment, I was like, hey, I know that girl. She used to be able to do that all the time. And so in our opportunity to be for other people, the handholds that move us forward, we begin to recognize ourselves again. And that's the power of giving back to a community, is that no matter where you are, it doesn't mean that you have to be 100%. What it means is that you need to just be willing. And so the 2 of you together, the 4 of you, the 6 of you, the 10 of you, imagine if somebody is sitting, and this is happening. In fact, we can just think about it. It's happening right this minute. Somebody is losing their spouse right now. And does that person know that we're all here? That there's a community of people available to hold them up, to look at the people on the wall and say, there are people here doing this exact same thing, and they're making it. It doesn't have to be pretty, but they're making it. One day, one step, one handhold at a time. And so my challenge for us, and people will say, okay, well, if you came to Camp Widow once, why would you need to come back? Like, what else are you going to do? Okay, you went to Camp Widow. How was that? Hope that was good. Why would you come back? Like, what else could they possibly have to tell you? I mean, we could just say, okay, well, my spouse is dead. Yep, still dead. Year later, still dead. Only widows think that's funny. I just want you to know. I've told that joke in other forums, and people don't laugh. Why would you come back? Because we need each other. Because not only do we need each other, but if we don't create the network of support that is going to support other people, and we're the people who get it. We get it. I never wanted to get it. You didn't want to get it. We didn't sign up. Nobody signed up. Well, I don't know. Did any of you sign up for this? Please tell me, because I don't want to overstep my bounds. But nobody said, I think I'd like to fall to the bottom of the crew and be widowed. Thanks so much. And so because we didn't choose it, it's not a community where people go, oh, that looks like fun. I think I'll go on over there. Instead, you're initiated whether you like it or not. And then you say to yourself, where do I go? And we are the answer to where do I go. We can be the answer so that people don't say to themselves, I don't know, I've never even heard of a place like that. And so people will say to me, I'm going to do, hey, I have a radio show, you want to come on? And I always say yes. And let me just tell you, you may not know this about me, I don't like press necessarily. I don't like to see myself on TV, I don't like to hear myself on the radio, I don't like any of that. But I'll tell you why I do it. I do it every single time. Because if it changes one person's journey, if it changes one widowed person's journey, it matters. I was very fortunate to receive an award 2 years ago from State Farm Insurance. And the woman who came to pick me up from the airport was super nice. She had a lovely husband, 2 kids. Everything was fabulous. And she said, what a great organization you have. This is such a great idea and so, giving and kind and what a great thing. She said, I'm going to help you raise money. And I said, wow, you're my best friend. I love you. So then my best friend fell off the face of the earth. And I was like, what happened? I just was odd because it felt like she really connected with it. And I couldn't understand. And so I called her, no answer. I thought that was odd. I went on a trip to Australia, which somebody's already told you about. And while I was in Australia, I got an email from her. And she said, I've started this email to you so many times, but I didn't know how to finish it. My husband had stage 4 brain cancer. And I thought to myself, I knew this day was going to come where I met somebody who was happily married, living the life, walking the path, everything was great, and they were going to need us. And we were there. She is the first person I know personally, I hope there are others, but she is the first person I know personally who said, I knew where to go. And I knew where to go because of Soaring Spirits. And that is why I will do radio and TV and newspapers. I will do whatever it takes to get people to have this community available to them. But I cannot do it by myself. We have fantastic partner organizations here this weekend. You will meet them. We have incredible speakers who have walked this path, some of them, who have had experience talking about their topics that are going to speak to you, that are going to help you become those handholds and footholds for where we're going. And all of those people are coming together. Why? What is it about Camp Widow that draws people here? Somebody said it was the food. I don't know, because I hardly tasted it. But I hope you all enjoyed it. Some people might say it's the pool. It's fabulous. Beautiful hotel. What else could you ask for at Camp Widow? It's the people. It's you. And really, when I say that we're honored to have you, what I mean is this doesn't exist without you. This doesn't exist without you. We have incredible volunteers, some of which are not widowed. Why are they here? What part of Camp Widow speaks to them? You speak to them. Your courage, the fact that you got on the planes and trains and automobiles or whatever you had to do, you sat in traffic, you made arrangements for your kids, you figured out how to pay for pay the registration, and if you guys all get me a huge sponsor, I'll say this to you because I think you'll all appreciate it. Somebody suggested that we have Zoloft as a major sponsor. I just want you to know that came out of the speaker's luncheon yesterday. In the goodie bags, they were saying? Hey, if any of you know them, I'll take it. Like I said, funding is funding. Everybody is here because they care about the opportunity to change people's lives. And that's what we're here for today. Not just yours, not just mine, not just our volunteers, not just our speakers, but the people we don't know yet who will be widowed. Because guess what? Everybody dies. And, I think there was a point in my life where that didn't occur to me. I'm not sure how I missed that part. But it doesn't become real until it's the person you plan to spend the rest of your life with. Sometimes you experience the death of a friend, and it's terribly sad. You lose a parent, again, terribly sad. God forbid you lose a child, terribly sad. Every single one of those losses is individual and unique. And each loss experience is separate. It's not like we can prepare. You can't get ready. And so some people have said to me, well, your husband died in an accident. So that must have been quite a shock. Of course it was quite a shock. But guess what? I have friends who have had spouses die of long-term illness, and it was still a shock. It was still a shock. Not today. Not this minute. Not right now. I thought we had 5 more minutes. And so even though it's not the same kind of shock as an accident, it's still a shock, and one day you wake up and you're in the pit. You weren't in the pit when they were still alive, no matter how long it took them to lose their life. However that happened, you were still upstairs, and you still had to experience the drop. The power of what we have here, the power of Camp Widow, is that we are all on the wall. Every one of us. We're in all different places. Some people are probably hanging over, pulling people up. Fabulous. I hope you'll come back. Not only do I hope you come back, I hope you bring your friends. Because guess what? You're going to have a ton of friends today, I promise you that.